my name's Rebekah Andress, and my project is on sex trafficking, and my working research title is An Exploration of Liberation Methods, Courtroom Legalities, and Rehabilitation Program Effectiveness of Sex Trafficking Survivors in the United States. My research question as of right now is to what extent do current liberation methods, legalities, and rehabilitation programs affect sex trafficking in the United States? I will start with contextualization, explaining what sex trafficking is and how the industry operates. First of all, one of the main reasons trafficking has been growing in the United States is due to the glamorization of pimps and prostitution through rap songs, video games, and entertainment such as movies and TV shows. This American culture has caused an increase in the amount of American youth and minority groups that are in danger of being victims of sex trafficking. Culture 2010 claims the American youth is most vulnerable, with over 52% of human trafficking cases involving children. Next, I will discuss the current U.S. trafficking policies and their issues. Peters 2013 examines the difference between trafficking legislation and explains how the special category for sex trafficking in most trafficking laws lead to uneven treatment of survivors. In my contextualization, I will discuss what sex trafficking is, how it works, who is involved, and the current policies and rehabilitation techniques. With the main problem of my paper being sex trafficking, I further broke it down into 3 subproblems: strategies to improve rescue, loopholes in sex trafficking legalities, and effectiveness of rehabilitation programs. For my first subproblem, strategies to improve rescue, I will describe the modern procedures and guidelines rescuers follow while removing victims from trafficking and ways to improve the process. I think this could be my potential gap because I cannot find much research on the topic. For my second subproblem, loopholes in sex trafficking legalities, I will answer the common asked questions such as, how do traffickers get shorter sentences? What happens if survivors committed a crime during their time being trafficked? Or how do survivors get proper representation in court? I will also analyze current trafficking laws and policies, most of which are outdated, and provide suggestions to upgrade the laws that other sources have already mentioned. For my third subproblem, effectiveness of rehabilitation programs, I researched the rehabilitation methods used now and their success rates. Sex trafficking rehabilitation is tricky because no 2 survivors are the same, and usually survivors need 3 different methods of therapy: physical, emotional, and mental. Providing more advanced and productive therapies could also be a potential gap for me to look into. Some general terms that are important to my topic is sex trafficking, which is the illegal movement of people typically for the purpose of commercial sexual exploitation. A pimp, who Weitzer 2011 says is a person who controls and financially benefits from the commercial sexual exploitation of another person. The relationship can often be abusive and possessive, with the pimp using techniques such as psychological intimidation, manipulation, starvation, rape and/or gang rape, beating, confinement, threats of violence toward the victim's family, forced drug use, and the shame from these acts to keep the sexually exploited person under control. The final term that I have found so far is branding. Shai 2016 says is a tattoo or carving on a victim that indicates ownership by a trafficker. This means that any victim or survivor with this tattoo is known to belong to a certain trafficker.
And here are my references.